I'll just throw it all the way off. We're gonna do this again. Steve, static. Alright, so this is static major. Static major. I was recording before, then my daughter just interrupted me and it just threw me all the way off. But I'm using the yin yang deck here. He seems to prefer oracle cards over tarot, which is why I haven't touched the tarot yet. This might be the last video that I post on YouTube for a minute. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure. Would you stop? Anyway, static major. Are we ready? Okay. All right, we're ready. So I'm not sure what he's gonna start off with, but I'm letting him lead this. Self-love. That sounds sweet. Intentions. Focus on desires of the heart. Family. Spring, which is a timing card, but it can also represent new things, new birth, new opportunities, stuff like that. Oh, I don't know, this might be taking a turn. Thoughts. Distance. Okay. This started off real nice. This started off real nice, and we seem to be going in the opposite direction of what I thought. Higher self. Pluto, letting go. And control, sabotage. So, I think he's picking up where we left off at in our last conversation, which we talked a lot about what he has learned or what he is learning since being on the other side, right? And he seems like the type who likes to share the good news, so to speak, or share when good things are happening. Now, I've said before, because in both of the previous readings that I did, it was very clear in the cards that he's the type of person to kind of keep things to himself when they're bothering him. Now, it seems that he is okay, I see it. I don't know if I'm gonna say all of this stuff. But now it seems that he is in a place where he's moving on. Is what it is. Long story short, he is moving on. This is not an easy process, but it is a process that he's going through. So he's developing like this new sense of self. See where this higher self comes in, this higher self card comes in. So he's in a place right now where I mean, you really can't. I won't say that you can't ascend, but he is getting to a place where he is trying to go to a higher level. Like, once we cross over from this life, we go to whatever comes next, right? Well, there are places beyond that. And he's trying to get to places beyond that. I mean, he still has a lot of work to do here. He has family. He's still taking care of them. And the family card comes right above the higher self, right? And I think he might even be in a position where he can do more for the people that he cares about that are still on this side. The higher he goes, so to speak, or the the greater the greater amount of knowledge that he acquires, the more he learns about himself and also his own spiritual gifts. Because, as I discussed in the previous reading in part 2, we all have gifts. They're different. Even on the spiritual side, some ancestors or some spirits, people, whatever you want to call them, we all have our roles on the other side. And so there are, we have our ancestors who were people, and, we have, some of my ancestors, for instance, I have some of my ancestors who act as sort of like security guards for me, or spiritual security guards. And I have my ancestors who are like intercessors for me. And then I have my ancestors who are guides for me, right? And I have a couple of them who actually do things for other people outside of our family, outside of our bloodline. And so, with Steven, with Static, it's no different. While he is coming to know himself better and understand what it is that he wants, because it was clear before, while he was still here on this side, what he wanted. You know, the career, he wanted to use his talent and get paid for it. He wanted his family, his friends, just wanted to eat good, have a good time. If you're familiar with his music, then you know that pretty much all his music was about, being in love, having a good time, everybody at the party having a good time. And, he had a couple of songs, thanking God, So love his family, love his life, love God, have a good time, be happy. He didn't come across like the type that just wanted to be down all the time, or at least that's not what his music portrayed, mind you. Like I said, I didn't know this man in person. I never met him. So yeah, the Pluto card falls right underneath the Spring card, which, like I said, Spring is a timing card, but it's also representative of new things being born. And Pluto is the planet of death, basically, in in Western astrology. Anyway, I'm not an astrology expert, but I know that much. And so when it comes to Pluto, it's about letting things go. It's about things coming to an end. Things are dying. And so it's interesting that it falls underneath the Spring card, which is about things being born. And so, I don't know, I think whatever he is doing or whoever he is connected with, he is definitely connected with them and created like a sense of family, perhaps, with these energies, these entities, and these people. It's a chance for him to look at things in a different way. And he also has an opportunity that a lot of people do not get to have once they cross over. Because once they cross, for most people, once we cross over, that's it. We still hang around with our family that we knew. And if you're into past lives or the multiverse theories and all of this stuff, I believe all of that to some degree. But in my mind, I look at the afterlife like that movie Coco, the Disney movie Coco. If you haven't seen it, I think you should, especially if you're into this kind of stuff. But anyway, it shows that movie depicts the afterlife as being basically an extension of this life, that people still go on, they still eat, drink, and be married in the land of the dead, you know. And he's doing that. You know, you make friends, you meet people, and will you meet them again when you come back, or if you come back? Who knows? Um, you know, it's all a toss up. And just a side note, side rant that has nothing to do with this, but you know, I know a lot of people believe in that soul contract theory. No, just no. Anyhow, but yeah, this whole experience has given him time, and what makes his experience unique is the fact that he can come back and tell about it, and that he is telling about it, you know, through me and you know other readers um, who he connects with, and not every reader who claims to speak with him or anybody else, they might be well known or semi well known. Is, you know, ain't no telling who they all talking to, but he is definitely in his. I mean, even though this card right here represents control and sabotage, um, it falls underneath the card thoughts, which is about feeling trapped. And I think a big thing that he is trying to get across, this message that he's trying to get across today, which is not anything salacious or anything, not at the moment anyway. I don't know where he's going with, you know, after this, but for right now, it's just about letting things go. It's just about letting things go and moving past the hurt. Now, like I said, in his case, there are allegedly, there are some things that he did not find out until after he passed, and you know he was shown these things once he crossed over. All right, and also with him being a spirit or being a spirit to us, you know, he's able to travel, come and go, and you know, defy space and time, which is a totally different thing. I'll write about it on my blog someday. But anyway, he's able to go and be places and be around people and basically be the fly on the wall. You know, he's able to go in incognito and see things and hear things that, you know, might have been kept from him before. So, you know, okay, I see it. I see it. So, let me get the first message out first. Let me get it. So, the main thing is that unresolved emotional issues do not go away just because you die and just because you find yourself on the other side of life. You got to let that shit go. And even if you find out, you know, once your time does come, whether you think it's your time or not, whenever it does happen for you, if you find yourself on the other side, realizing that, you know, you're still angry about some things, you're not going to be able to progress to the more pleasant side of the afterlife until you let some things go, or else you're going to be coming back here, you're still going to be struggling with the same thing. And Stephen Static Major, he's a very old soul. He's been around for a very, very, very long time in some incarnation or something, you know. The other part of this was what I had just said before about him being able to see things differently, not from just being shown, you know, like having, you know, God or spirit guides or whoever to show him what happened after and what led up to, you know, what happened around his passing. Um, he was able to see it for himself because he was able to be the fly on the wall to see who was sabotaging him. So he's growing, he's maturing as a spirit, as a man, as a person, as a human being. He is still maturing. I mean, he's still. It's weird. It's weird. And so I guess I ain't gonna get too deep into it, but he's still very much, I don't think he had a confidence problem while he was here. He was shaking a little bit, but based on my communication with him, with who I believe to be the spirit of Static Major, he still not doesn't have an issue with confidence, so to speak. But whatever happened, whatever supposedly happened, it shook him a lot, and there was a lot of fear, a lot of sense of fear in him that may not have existed before. You know, and so I also get the impression that he's very family is very important to him. Family is very, very important to him. And he is also still, again, with the spring card. I mean, he's creating new bonds while he's in the after, right? But he still very often comes to interact with his family that's still here on this side of life. And so one of the key phrases on here is putting in the work. He's definitely putting in the work. And so, I don't know if if any living relatives of his will ever see this, but more specifically his kids, because now I'm getting his kids in my mind. But if there's ever a time where you're thinking about him and you're wondering what would he do, just know that when you're thinking of him in that way, or if you happen to say it out loud, he's coming and he's doing the best he can to whisper in your ear to to tell you exactly what it is that he would do in whatever situation that you're in. Very, very solid person, he seems like. Very solid. And this distance is like how you kill somebody that's already dead. I don't know. that was so morbid and dark. And I'm laughing about it. But I don't know if he's always had a dark sense of humor, but he has one now, and I think that's one of the ways that he copes. But yeah, the distance, like I said, it's this whole experience has had him to see himself in a different light. You know. And who knows? I mean, I believe that he would have been great if he was still here. But I mean, it's just different, It's different. But I think that's it right there. Perhaps. What else are we talking about today, Steve? Abundance, windfall. We got a little money, celebration. Again, Pluto, letting go. Okay. Structure, foundation. Where are we going with this? Mr. Major, guarded. Separation, love. Inner child, healing. Attract. And fears. So overall, not very happy here. Oh gosh, you don't never want to give me no happy cards. Never. Um. Okay. So all right. So I'll start here. And again, this is all alleged. All right. Conjecture. Is talking points. Conjecture. A little bit of conspiracy. Anyway, separation card comes up, and the main keyword, main theme here is love separation. But with there being a ring, I always think about just commitment in general. So this is not only just a separation of a love relationship, but it could just be any kind of heavy commitment or marriage level type of commitment. So it could be like a business separation as well as a love one. This card kind of gives Three of Swords energy a little bit. It falls right underneath the Abundance card. So this could indicate there being an issue in a relationship, in a love relationship, due to money. I told you I'm not gonna say all that. I said I wasn't gonna say all that. But yeah, this could be an issue in a relationship, in a committed relationship of some sort. So it could be marriage, could be a business contract, but it could very well just be business. We don't go with that for right now. Business. I need you to hush. Um, but yeah, this anyway, this is a relationship that had an issue with money. Now I don't know if money was like at the forefront of being an issue, um, but it was an issue. I don't know if there was a betrayal of some sort, and it involved money. Or if there was an expected reward of some money due to a betrayal or separation. It could very well be a betrayal or separation that would result in there being a windfall, a potential windfall. As a result of the death. Well, you gonna bring up that death card no matter what deck I use, ain't you? So this is all interesting because left to right, there was a windfall that might have come from letting something go, or is the result of something coming to an end. Whatever this ending was, it was the ending to something that was very supposed to be solid foundation, a solid structure of some sort, something that's supposed to be stable. And the guarded card comes up after the structure card. The guarded card represents vulnerability. See, there's a woman we assume is a mother and a child, so this is a very vulnerable situation. So it's like this structure was very vulnerable and on the brink of death. And it might have been because of, or one of the motivating factors. I'm not going to say because of, it might just, there might be a long laundry list of reasons why, but money is one of them. Maybe there was an opportunity, supposedly, possibly, allegedly. I don't know. See, you said you was gonna behave. We were gonna be talking about all this. Okay. So yeah, the separation card here. What comes after that is inner child is healing. So there. Okay, it's followed by the inner child. Okay, it's followed by the inner child, and this is about healing and moving on, putting things back together, um, dealing with things, coping with things. Um, we're talking about like coping with the grief of something, and this is still him talking as both living Stephen and otherworldly Stephen. Um, him talking from the perspective of being alive and thinking that he was okay with whatever his commitments were, and maybe not really. There might have been an issue that he had that um, that he himself had inside, that he hadn't quite addressed, and so it was an issue in this committed relationship that may or may not be a love relationship. And he admits that it was a problem and that it was something that he needed to work on and that he could have done better. Because he very much liked the family thing, There was a vulnerability there that, like I said, it's not. They were very good about keeping their business to themselves, which is one of the reasons why I don't want to say too much, because again, I don't know these people. I'm talking to a spirit who claims to be him, but I can't confirm or deny that. No, I think I block out my ability to see them on purpose. Well, I hear him. He makes it perfectly clear that he's here, but I can't always see him because I don't be trying to see him. I don't. But yeah, he could have done more. Like, he did care. There was mutual love and affection, respect there, but there was also a lot of fears and illusions. There was a lot of that there. On both sides, I think. On both sides. On both sides. But whatever the case, though, I think whatever, and this don't even necessarily gotta be just money, like cash money. This could just be like whatever material stuff. And when I say material, I just mean like, anything that's part of the 3D or part of his career, like his life. Um, you know, it might have just been a lot to handle. Maybe it was a lot more to handle than what some of the people in his inner circle thought it would be. Like, he come home and he still be Steven. Still be Steve. But, you know, I don't know. Maybe, once he left home and he goes to, I don't know, Los Angeles or go to Vegas or something like that, do a show, then he's static. And, I mean, he's still him, but, he's him in a different place. And, maybe those places might cause, maybe him being in a different place would cause an issue in whatever this committed relationship that could be love or business or any other type. you know so he had his issues. And also, mhm, also what he's saying is that this material stuff, I said, not just money or not only money or hell, not even money, but again, this material, this lifestyle, this physical stuff, this 3D stuff, um, meaning career, is what led to his demise. Like, he died for this, to have this career, or to, he could have just done music, but I mean, he needed to make a living too, and he was born to do music. He was born to be an artist. He's an artist in every lifestyle, in every life, he's some sort of artist. Some sort of musician. He ain't never been the 9 to 5 laborer type. I mean, he will get a job, but if he got a choice, he's gonna be the artist that he is meant to be. Whenever he come back again, he probably gonna be a musician again. But there was a lot that he gave up for this life. And so again, it's like, what is the most important thing? What was, did it matter? Would he do it all the same way if he had to do it again? Maybe, which seemed kind of crazy, but he loved it that much, though. He did. He loved not so much the industry, but he loved his art. His music was like an extension of him, and that was something that he would not trade, or it would take a lot for him to trade it. We'll say that. So I just know. Okay, Venus offer. Venus is a planet that represents love. Oh, separation. Again, that's not good. Self-love. Oh, okay. See where this is going. I don't know. See. And belief system is a facade. You're going to harp on this. This is something that you're very, very passionate about. I see. Cold. Temptation. Stability. I don't know. I almost feel like he's saying that in Sun, which represents strength. I almost feel like what he's saying is allegedly. Just go with me here. Um, what he's saying here is he could have been better. Okay, he could have been better. He messed up. You know, temptation. This was in either part one or part two. I don't remember, but pulled a very similar card before. I think the other card it was in the other deck. It showed up as nightlife, which is about like gambling and just clubbing, partying or whatever. I don't think he was just a heavy partier or anything like that. I mean, it was part of the job. This came with the territory. You're gonna be a musician there. You're gonna make club appearances and stuff like that. That's just part of it. But you know, every now and then, I don't even think it was just a regular thing for him to misbehave or anything like that. I just think it might have been like every blue moon he might slip up. Um, but as I have said before, his widow, his wife, she did an interview. She speaks highly of him and has said nothing but had nothing but glowing things to say about him and their marriage together. And they were together for a while, for a long time, for some years. And so I'm like I said, I'm seeing all of this based off of what I see in some cards. I could be completely off. Um, I have no idea what happened in their marriage. Everything was perfect according to her. So, who are me? Who are me to contradict that? But, I'm just saying that, the man was a man and he might have been tempted once or twice. Just, um, and that seems to be something that he is saying. Like, he needs to get that out. That, he loved, it's the Venus card here. The Venus, like I said, is a planet that represents femininity and romance and love and relationships a lot of the times. And so he loved, there was love there, but this life, like, I don't know, I can't. If things were different and he were still here today, would he still be married? If I'm just basing it off of these cards, I don't know. I'm leaning towards not a yes. And I'm going to leave it at that. But yeah, this card here, belief systems, facade. Yeah. The Sun card, which in this case it represents strength, it falls beneath the facade and belief systems card. So it's like, what I just said about their perfection, their outward perfection, might have just been that, just been outward. I don't know if I want to share this, so this is personal. This is very personal. But I think there were some things about himself that maybe he was coming to realize even before he passed, though. I think he was coming to realize. And that's where the stability card, which falls underneath self-love. I think he's more of a stable man now than he was. And not just because he's dead, because, another, side conversation or side rant here is, from my experience of talking to people who have crossed over, they do a lot of the same stuff that we did before they crossed over. So they still engage in certain activities and whatnot, or experience anyway. They just experience it on a different level. So it's like he still goes on, So it's like, oh no, it's not that you can't possibly cheat or whatever anymore because you don't have a body no more. It's like, no, you like, no, it doesn't stop just because you're dead. Anyway, we're moving on because I said that's a little too close to your super duper personal life. Like I said, I can't confirm or deny anything. This is all just talk. So, anyway, we're 40 minutes in, sir, so we need to be wrapping this up. I always feel like we're just getting started. You got, sir, you and this damn Pluto card. Okay, Pluto again, and this time decisions, letting go, making choices, trying to decide what you're gonna do next. Doubts, clarity. What is this about, sir? Truth again. A lot of truth. A lot of truth. A lot of truth. You're not gonna get me to say this. Thoughts. Kisses. Love. And higher self. You singing a lot. You're saying a lot, and I'm gonna keep. Allegedly. Supposedly. This is just a thought, okay? There were some decisions made about his death. And it wasn't okay. There was a decision that was made about his death, and I'm not going to say that it was because, of whatever happened in this commitment that was going to eventually result in a separation. I'm just saying that, it had something to do with it. I mean, it is not the only reason why, but it had something to do with it. And see, this is why I don't do videos. This right here. You trying to catch me up, sir? You're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. See, when I write stuff down, I can think about it. I have a lot more control over what I can put out there when I'm writing it, as opposed to when I'm just saying stuff. Is there anything else you want to say, sir? Spirit guides. Is this for me? The world. New cycle. Okay, it's not for me personally. Well, no, it is a little bit. Okay. Loss. Attract. So we have attract and loss right here next to each other. It's interesting. Combination of cards right there. And then we have Ace of Fire, which is passion. This is all about starting new. Truth. The Sun again. And then cold. And that's funny to have sun and cold together right next to each other. Okay, so he's starting over, or rather he's to the point now where he's now that he's seen things, now that he's coming to grips with things, that he's finally accepting some things, he is doing new things. He is doing new things. He done went through all the emotions. He experienced the loss, like he entered this new world. You know, closed his eyes one last time, woke up, and oh snap, he's out of his body. And oh, wait a minute, he can see everything that he, you know, like what is this? Where is he? You know, he's on the other side. It's another life, another world, new world. How did he get here? He realizes he's dead. It's over. He sees the hurt that he felt though. I done spent the last 20 plus minutes talking about, you know, his faults or one of his possible downfalls, but he wasn't the only one, and I'm gonna leave it allegedly. And yeah, so yeah, he's been real hot and cold, hot and cold. 16 years on the other side, he ain't really been at peace because he's been hot and cold this whole time. Ooh, you ain't finna. This was not very demure, sir. This is not cute or demure. Who's taking me the hell through there? Okay. All right. Any last words, sir, before we close this out? For now, anyway. Are you done? No. Well, I'm done. So yeah, you ain't got no choice but to be done. Look, we'll come back and do this, or maybe I'll make another part to this video. This one's been the last part. Okay. I'm gonna need a minute though. I'm gonna need a break. Okay. All right. So I'll talk to you in a little bit. All right. Bye.